Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. The snow has finally stopped falling from the sky here in Rhode Island, and it honestly looks like a winter wonderland. So I'm about ready to go for a little hike, but I wanted to come on. One of my goals this holiday season is to share some tips and tricks with you to help you kind of add a little glam to your holidays. And today's look is inspired by the Christmas song, usually referred to as chestnuts roasting on an open fire. We're going to be working with my wonderful golden palette. This is palette number 1. It's actually my most popular eyeshadow palette because it's something that you can wear every single day. It's the nudes, it's the browns, but you can also glam things up. So that is what I'm working with today. Come on in and keep me company. You can know if you're here watching this live because that live button is up above. If you're watching on the replay, please feel free to still write. I'll make sure to be coming back and checking out those comments. You can leave a little hashtag hello lovely below, whether you're watching it live or on the replay. That would be amazing. All right, so to start things off, I like to create a blank canvas on my eyes. I have no makeup on whatsoever right now. I am going to put on some face primer because I will be doing some foundation after I finish my eyes, and I like to put on my face primer before I do any makeup to really let it settle inside those pores and those fine lines to make sure that my makeup doesn't settle in there instead. So the primer is really easy. It's velvety smooth. And that's really what it does. It fills in the fine lines and pores and also acts like Velcro so that your makeup stays on your face all day. I love this stuff. It just feels so smooth on my face. I used to not wear a primer. I used to just put foundation straight on my face, and I frequently would have that issue where it would be clumpy or it would be settling. I do have some larger pores here. And I would joke that I would put on makeup, I'd go to an event, and I'd get there and I would just feel like I had nothing on my face whatsoever. And primer has made a huge difference, but you do need to give it a couple of minutes to let it work its magic. So now what I'm going to do is actually take care of my eyes. So I have veins and freckles and just general discoloration on my eyelid, and what I have found is that I like to neutralize that either with my foundation or my concealer or some kind of a primer base to make sure that the shadows get to be their best selves. So I'm just going to start things off with a little bit of this cream shadow, throwing that on there, and you're going to see how easily it just gets rid of all of that discoloration, and I go all the way underneath my brows. This is actually going to lay down a nice nude matte foundation for these shadows. And there is primer infused inside of this little pot of eyeshadow. So you can see just that alone has really brightened up my eyelids. It's gotten rid of so much of that darkness. So if you're someone who does just hereditary have discoloration issues, or if you're tired because you're doing a lot of holiday planning, this is a product that even without wearing additional makeup on top of, is going to make a really big difference. I wear glasses a lot of the time, and this is something that I just love to wear or recommend for my friends who wear glasses, just to brighten up those eyelids behind the frames. Boom. Awesome. So that in and of itself just makes me look a little bit more awake, not really super makeup-y. This is probably something I use every single day. All right, so we've got that cream shadow on, and now I'm going to start to work on my eyes. I personally like to do my eye makeup before my foundation, just in case I needed to clean anything up. It's all up to personal preference, but it's definitely how I like to do things. I'm going to start things off with a big fluffy brush. I'm so excited to go outside. It's amazing. It was snowing all morning. The kids woke up. My son was so excited. I'm starting off with the shade right here, Chipper. It's a matte milk chocolate shade. Beautiful shade. So just get a little bit on that brush, tap off any excess, and we're going to lay this down as a transition shade. Transition shade means it's going to be pretty much a rainbow shape in and around the crease, keeping right underneath your brow free and clear from that product. And I hold my brush down towards the base. This is going to give a more light touch, and because the bristles are so, openly and dispersed, because it's a nice big blending brush, it's going to lay down this color nice and light. So gentle touch, and just really do like a windshield wiper motion like that. But my son woke up and he was yelling, "Mama, it's a winter wonderland. It's a winter wonderland." And it truly is. I'll show some pictures later. The snow is more of a wet consistency snow, so it's really sticking on the trees and the branches, and it lightly coated all of the grass. The roadways, though, aren't bad, so school wasn't canceled or delayed at all. And it was just a gorgeous way to wake up this morning. And it really continued until maybe 10 minutes ago. And now the skies are blue. They're as blue as can be. Not a single cloud in the sky. I don't know where they all went, but they are not here anymore. But it was a gorgeous, gorgeous snow shower. And now I'm going to get ready to go for a little bit of a hike. So this right here is just what I'm calling my transition shade. It's just all around that crease, a little up on the upper lid, keeping underneath here nice and clear and free. And you know that you've blended it when it looks just fine by itself. So any of you who are watching who might not necessarily feel super confident in your eyeshadow skills, just getting really used to doing a transition shade is going to up your eyeshadow game. So I often go and I do little circles. You can blend either with little circular motions or, as I said, that windshield wiper motion. And I like to have the transition shade be a light matte shade. I do have some crow's feet and some fine lines around my eyes, so I don't necessarily want shimmer all over my eyes. I find that the shimmer will often kind of pick up any of those textures, whether it's just a textured skin or fine lines. So I prefer more of a matte when I'm doing my transition shade, and I do like it to be a little on the lighter side. So if you are trying to have more of a glam look, still start slow. Still start with more of a light shades and then just build up from there. And then if you do have any sag to your eye, like you just saw that, so this is, you know, how my eyes look when I'm looking down, but then straight on, I've got all that eyelid that just sags right in. Looking at yourself straight on is going to give you an amazing viewpoint as to how the rest of the world is going to actually see your eyes. So you can just see I've got a lot of that droop right there. So I still like to pull up a little bit of that extra color, keeping right underneath that brow still nice and clear. That's going to make my eyes look more lifted, kind of fight against that droop that I have, that droopiness of the eye. All right, so we've laid down a really nice light transition shade using that milk chocolate color chipper. And then what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go in with a more densely packed brush. So this is a blending brush, and this is what you use to either blend your colors or to lay down that transition shade. And then this is a crease brush. You can already see this is a much more stiffer, densely packed bristles, and this is going to take whatever color you use and it's going to be more saturated. So what's going to be really fun is you're going to see the difference. I'm going to put in that same shade, that same chipper shade. It's milk chocolate colored, but I'm using a different tool. Hi Eleanor, how are you? And by using a different tool, I'm going to create a much significantly darker color. And this is why, you know, some people might just have one or two little brushes, or you'll have the little cheapsy brushes that some of your eyeshadows in the past might have come with. Making sure that you would definitely have a blending brush and then some kind of either a fluffy crease brush or some kind of a crease brush is going to help your eyeshadows be the way that you want. Because sometimes people try to create a bit more dark eyeshadow look, but they're using a fluffy crease brush or a fluffy brush, and it's not going to give you the same pigment as you would if you had a more densely packed brush. It's a lot like painting a wall. You know, you do need different brushes to get inside the different crooks and nannies, or to, what is that, crooks and crannies? Nooks and crannies. What did I just say? Crooks and nannies? Oh my goodness. Nooks and crannies when you're painting your walls. So just like that. And the great thing with brushes is if you take good care of them, they're going to last you an incredibly long time. All right, so what I've got going on here is I'm doing what's called the outer V. So I'm going from my lower lash line up. You can almost take a tool from your lower nostril to your lower lash right there where your eye ends. And I'm pretty much just filling in that whole area right there, just making a V or a backward 7. Now I'm also going to go inside that crease, but once again I do have a bit of a sag, a droop to my eye. Hi Kayla. So I'm going to go a little bit above that and just adding a little bit more color, slow and steady, especially if you're someone who doesn't usually do glam eyeshadow looks. Building slowly is going to help you with your confidence. It's also going to make it so that you're less likely to have a mistake. You can always build a little bit more color. You can always go a little bit darker, but it's a little harder to go the opposite direction. So starting slow is going to make a huge difference. Now, once again, this is a great look for every day if you do like to have your eyes look a little bit more open, if you want to add a little bit more drama, or if you are someone who Maybe you don't necessarily do fancy eyeshadow looks, but maybe for the holidays you'd like to amp it up. So you could see I've almost made like a triangular shape right here on that outer third of my eye, from where the white of my eye is and up. So it's really just a nice triangle. That outer third, I kind of colored in a little bit darker. Do you see that? I can see it, so hopefully you can see it. Let's go on the other side and do the same thing. So once again, the direction, you could take your tool, your nostril to the end of your eye. That whole area is where your triangle is going to begin. So we're gonna go just like this, nice and short. I'm using the same shade. Isn't that incredible how much more pigmented it is just because it's a different tool. And then I'm going to go in to create that triangle and almost bring it right down. It's really, really easy. Once you learn this technique, it's going to help your eyes look a bit bigger, and you can do it with all different colors. So if you, for example, have more of a gray, charcoal kind of eyeshadows that you like to wear, you can still use the same technique, and it's going to make your eyes look wider, look bigger. Not necessarily wider, but just bigger. Draw a bit more attention to them. It's just starting off with a lighter matte shade and then building from there. So I've got those two triangles going on, and now what I'm going to do is just kind of take that product, whatever is on the brush right now, and bring it in a little bit. So when we're referring to my eye in thirds, we've got the white third, the colored third, and then the outer white third. I'm going to bring it above to that, that second, until where my iris ends. Do you see that? I just like picked up my lip. Silly me. I'm not putting it on this lower portion of my lid, but I'm going above it right there. Just blending that color with that same brush. Hi, Erica. How are you? Happy Wednesday. And then I'm just going to keep blending that color. And one of the tricks with eyeshadow looks is that you don't want any harsh lines. You don't want to really see where color begins or ends. You want it to really be like an ombre gradient effect. And that is just going to really make your eyes pop. So going back just to that blending brush, you can kind of see where color begins and where it ends right there. So I'm just going to take that blending brush and soften up that line right there. Just windshield wiper softening it up. Sometimes I feel like Bob Ross. You know how calm he is as he's painting his happy little trees? I feel like I live right now in a Bob Ross painting. It is so gorgeous outside. So just back and forth, softening that up. You can see that little eyelid droop right when I let go. Well, poor eyelid. Poor gravity. All right, there we go. So already you can see it's added a little bit more drama to my eyes, and it's not necessarily adding shimmers or doing anything crazy. It was one color that I've worked with so far, just that milk chocolate chipper, just with different tools. Now, speaking about tools, I am going to go in with a third tool, but this is a simple look, remember, keeping things nice and easy for you. I'm going to work with this shade right here, Sincere. It is a very light, almost taupe, with a little bit of iridescence to it, a little bit of light catching. And what I'm going to do is place it on that inner third, right where that iris area is, the colorful part of your eye. And I'm just kind of patting it on. And for this brush, it's more one of those flat brushes. A lot of people do have more of this kind of brush right here. So same thing, I'm patting it right on the inner third. And then I'm just going to blend that color in. So really in those inner 2/3 of the eye, it's going to be light. Your outer third of your eye is dark. Your inner 2/3 of your eye is light. And you can use this with any eyeshadow palette. You could just use 2 different colors like I did. It's a very, very easy technique, and it's going to give you a lot of nice depth and dimension. It's going to open up those eyes, add a little bit of drama, but it's nothing crazy, as you can see. So if you're able to work on this kind of a technique, if eyeshadow isn't necessarily something you wear every day, because you may not feel confident with it, I highly encourage you to use these techniques. So all I did is use these 2 shades right here. This one right here, which is called Chipper, and this one right here called Sincere. Just 2 shades, and it's able to give me this nice eye-opening look that I could deepen up a little bit more if I wanted to get a little more glam, or if I wanted to wear this every day, I could. I love this palette. If you're someone who's a newbie when it comes to eyeshadows, hey Allison, this is my go-to palette that I recommend for people. Now, if you did want to deepen this up a little bit, what I would recommend is getting yourself a either a pencil eyeliner, Or you could just get one of those flat little brushes like this one here, and you can go inside that same shade Chipper, working just with 2 eyeshadows. I told you I was going to keep it easy. And I'm going to press this along my lash line like it was a pencil eyeliner. So just pressing it in there. And this is going to give you a really soft, light brown eyeliner look. If you are someone who suffers from, not suffers, it's not like I'm really suffering from having hooded eyes, but if you do have hooded eyelids, you may not want to necessarily do this across your entire lid because it is going to make your eyelid look a little bit smaller. So you might just want to do it just on the outer third. I just find that it helps kind of deepen up the lashes a little bit, but as you can see, it took up some of that real estate where I had that nice light color. So it's personal preference if you'd like to do that step or not. All right, now I'm going to go in and do my face because obviously I don't have any foundation on. So I've been working a lot with my favorite foundation. It's my BB Flawless BB Cream, and it is a lightly tinted hydrating beauty balm, which really works splendidly if you have dry skin, if you live in an environment like I do where it's a little on the cooler side because it's becoming winter, and you can apply it with your fingers, you can apply it with a damp blending bud like I am right here. And I am gonna quickly put this on. It does have a dewy finish, which I find to be quite nice. I find it to be quite youthful, quite realistic to my skin. Like, it doesn't look like I have heavy cakey makeup on. If you are someone who wants to have more of a matte look to your skin, we can definitely put some powder on top, but this gives you a nice amount of nourishment, which I think is great. Hi Nadja, how you doing? So just applying it right here with, you can use your fingers with this BB cream. It is so easy to use. You can use a brush. I've had a lot of friends who like to use either the powder concealer brush or the kabuki brush, or as I said, fingers. Nothing wrong with that. It's definitely a foundation that you can do that with. And it's just so light and skin-like that you're really not going to feel like you have makeup on. You're going to feel like it's almost like a lightly tinted moisturizer, but it really evens out the skin. So you can even see, you know, where I have my discoloration, my freckles, my pinkness, and it's just toned it down. It's not heavy makeup. It's just toned some of this unevenness down. And I don't even have concealer on. Isn't that amazing? All right, let's do one little more bit right here. Cover up this side. You know, I did bring a clip. Here we go. I'm like, I thought I brought one. We'll just do this for right now, even though it looks ridiculous. Get that hair out of my face. And when you do put on your foundation, I generally, if you're going to be wearing concealer, I wouldn't necessarily put foundation on underneath your eyes because you want to have less layers of makeup under your eyes. Hi Maria, how are you? Blend up to your ear line, but for me, I can kind of get away with doing BB cream under my eyes. Just, I think it's because it's so hydrating. Hi Jessica, thanks for tuning in. All right, so once again, I've just had some BB cream on my face. I had that primer on before. The BB cream is going to nourish my skin, especially as I go outside into the elements. It's added a really nice base to my face. Look at me rhyming. Little Dr. Seuss that I am. And now I'm going to warm things up just to, do I even need to? I don't think I need to warm things up with bronzer right now. I think I more just want a little bit of blush. That's what we're gonna do. Add a little bit of blush. I'm gonna go in with the shade Sisterly. It is one of my favorite shades. It's a very nice, natural, light flush shade. It does have a little bit of a iridescence to it, which I think is nice. Once again, catching that light. I'm applying it on areas that are not fine lines for myself. So I just like to add a little bit of that glow with this shade. And I'm pressing it in. I don't recommend taking your brush and smearing, especially if you're using a cream-based foundation, cream or liquid-based foundation, unless you've set it with a powder. So if you did put on a powder beforehand, taking your powder products and kind of brushing as you usually might will be fine, but I'm doing more of like a little stippling pressing motion with this product because I am putting it directly on top of that creamy foundation. Really, really easy. Adds that extra bit of color that I feel like I'm lacking this time of year because it's winter. And I'm bringing it upwards. I'm trying to defy gravity by bringing it upwards. And I'm doing a bit more blush today because I am choosing not to do bronzer. Sometimes I do one or the other. Whoops, brushed it there. And let's finish up these eyes. So I'm going to bring that same shade, Chipper, down below my eyes with that crease brush. So that tighter packed brush right there. So right into Chipper. And then I'm going to, you actually have a lower lid right here. You'll often see a fold right there. So I'm gonna fill in that lower lid nice and light with that crease brush. See that? Wow. And this, once again, is just personal preference. I didn't used to do this. I didn't used to apply eyeshadow on my lower lid. It's something that I've really been doing more the past recent few years. And I like it a lot because I find it to be a lot softer than taking a pencil eyeliner to my lids. I just think that it makes my eyes look a little bit more pulled together, still a little fancier. It kind of takes things up a notch without closing off my eyes. My eyes are a little bit on the smaller side, so I like to make them look a little bigger. And this is a trick, rather than taking a harsh black pencil eyeliner or liquid eyeliner and kind of going below, this just makes them pop without it being too intense. So still, just a reminder, I've just used 2 shadows from here. I've used Chipper as my transition, and then I did it as the crease shade. I also used it to line my lower lashes, and then I used Sincere on the inner 2/3 right there just to brighten things up a little bit. 2 shadows. Anyone can do this look. And the great thing with this technique, once again, is you can apply it to any eyeshadows that you'd like. You can go colorful, you can do neutral like this. The world is your oyster, my friend. So if you ever do try this technique, doing that triangle and kind of blending it, let me know. Send me a little picture. I'd love to see. I'd love to cheer you on and be excited for you. Now I'm going to take my eyeliner, my brow liner, and just fill in my brows right where I have some brow hair loss or gray brow hairs. Just nice and naturally filling in any of those spots. I'm not trying to do a really structured thick brow, as this eyeshadow look isn't necessarily calling for it, but I do like just to fill in any of those empty spots. And brush the product. Very, very easy. And then let's add a lip. So one of my favorite lips for this time, any time of year, but when I do add a little bit more to my eyes, and if this, as I said, this may be what you classify as more of a dramatic eyeshadow look for yourself. You may not necessarily do eyeshadows. So if you're going to be bringing out your eyes a little bit, I like to tone down my lips. And for that, I'm going to be doing my favorite lip liner and lip gloss combination. It's just my favorite nude. It's Pouty Eyeliner. Oh, eyeliner. Goodness, I'm gonna say eyeliner all the time, aren't I? Lip liner. Hey, Rebecca. Now you can see my lips are on the paler side. They just are what they are right now. And this is why lip liner is gonna give me a little bit of that natural color back. I just draw along the edges. And then I choose to fill in my lips with my lip liner. Some people don't. I like to fill it in because the lip liner is waterproof and it's budge proof, and it's going to stay on my lips all afternoon long, so that way I know that my lips won't be as ghostly pale as they currently are. So I just lightly color them in. And then anything I lay on top, I'll just add to that. Look at that, even just that. I no longer have ghost lips. It's amazing. All right, so I've lined the lips. This is budge proof, waterproof, gonna stay on tight, not gonna go anywhere. So if you are someone who does have issues with lipsticks kind of bleeding, lip liner is going to be one of your best bets for success. All right, where did I put it? Here we go. So this is my favorite lip gloss. It is the perfect nude lip gloss. It's called Luxe. It does come with a little mirror on the side so you can touch up on the go, and you can see the shade. And what's great about lip glosses is that when you have a bit of shine and sheen to your lips, it makes your lips look fuller. Lip plumpness is another thing that as we age just diminishes. It's funny how other aspects of our bodies become more plump over time and then like our lips often lose it. So this is going to almost do an optical illusion. When you have that sheen, that kind of shine, that glossy look right there, it's just going to make your lip look bigger, look a little bit more plump, kissable. What I will tell you is that this lip gloss isn't sticky or tacky. It doesn't, it like adheres to my lips and doesn't really want to go anywhere, but it still feels really creamy and smooth on my lips, which I appreciate because this time of year, my lips get very chapped, they get a little bumpy. So matte products like matte lipsticks don't necessarily work well on my lips. I feel like it shows any issues that my lips might have, and I don't need that. I don't need that happening. So I'm gonna go in now with my mascara, and then I'm pretty much good to go. I'm gonna be able to go out my little afternoon hike. So I hope that you guys enjoyed these tips. If you do ever use them, as I said, on whatever eyeshadows you have, you might already have some eyeshadows at home in your makeup bag or in your makeup drawer that you don't necessarily use because you might be a little intimidated by them. I challenge you, try that technique. Try the inner 2/3 being light and the outer third being a little darker. You can even use that same dark shade if you do have a blending brush with a light hand to use it as your transition shade. You can use it as your eyeliner. You can use it to under eye smoke your lower lash line. Really try it out. You don't need to use 4 eyeshadows, 5 eyeshadows. You don't need to go crazy. You just need to have the right tools and know kind of where the placement is. And the last trick is blending. Always making sure you're blending. Right, so already right there you can see what mascara did. It opened the eye. The eyelashes are curled because of this amazing brush. So I'll just do that in the other eye, and then we will call it a day, my friends. We will call it a day. So if you enjoy looks like this, or if you enjoy tips like this, let me know. Because as I go forward making these videos, I just want to really make sure that I'm giving you the content that best suits you. If you have purchased something from me, from Minute with Mary, and you'd like to see me demonstrate it and give some tips, also let me know that as well. I'd be more than happy to do some videos based upon products that you've gotten to help you be able to rock them for the holidays. That's what we want to do. And then I'm just going to do a little bit underneath my eyes right there. And I like to glam things up a little bit on the outer third of my lashes. I just find it to be very feminine, almost like little butterfly wings. So I just kind of do a little extra right on those outer eyelashes right there. When I used to glue on lashes, which whew, I will every once in a while if I really need to, but man, that's like torture right there. I would glue a couple of little extra eyelashes right here just to give the extra little oomph. I find, once again, I'm doing that darker shade right there, so being able to add a little bit more drama right on that outer third. Look at that. Look at how amazing. This mascara is so great. So there you have it. Really simple. Eyeshadows do not need to be scary. It's really about placement and understanding which colors work where and making sure that you have the right tools. So take the time to look inside your makeup drawer. If you have stuff in there that you haven't used for a while, make sure that they're still okay. Makeup does have a shelf life. You can often find out the shelf life by looking like on the bottom of it. There should, if it's good makeup, it should have an expiration date. So for example, this blush is good for 18 months. If it's been in your drawer since years ago, you probably should toss it, and try something new. Maybe you'll have much different results because it will be better for you. Take a look at your lipsticks. Make sure that you haven't had those for years as well. Because if it's stuff that you're not using, it's just taking up space. You know, you could think about cleaning out your closets for the New Year's, cleaning out your makeup drawer for the New Year, and really making sure that the stuff that you have, you love. And then it makes you feel amazing and confident. I had to do that several years ago where I had a whole drawer of makeup that I just didn't use, that I'd accumulated since college, and some pieces that I would never use or wear again, and getting rid of it just made me feel a lot calmer. I'm not a huge fan. I don't love cleaning. I'm not great at cleaning. It's something that I need to work on as a person, but honestly, going through and getting rid of junk, things that I don't use, that I've just held onto for God knows why, and then replacing it with my tried and true items that I wear every day that I can use, whether I'm trying to go glam, go neutral, just add a little bit of color. It's made a huge difference. So if you are ever looking for new staple items, new foundation, new mascara, a new eyeshadow palette that can take you day to night, I'd love to help you out. I honestly would love to help you out. You can still get items sent to you now through minutewithmary.com, and they'll get to you in time for the holidays. So please, please always feel free to shoot me a message. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you learned something today. Thanks for watching this Minute with Mary. I'll talk with you soon. Bye.